Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is another Let's Talk About. If I get to do this and upload them as I want to, this is probably the second or third one you'll see today that I uploaded. I obviously didn't watch all of these this day, this week, or anything like this. I went to see Power Rangers about a week or so ago now, maybe two. Didn't actually record the review for it there and then, and I'm glad I didn't. I always try and give a bit of breathing room. Have I got toothpaste around my mouth? No. I've just realised I've just brushed my teeth and then come to film this. I don't like to review things straight after seeing them. Mainly for the cause of I like to mull over it for a little bit afterwards. 13 Reasons Why might be one of the quickest I've ever done, where I've reviewed it a couple of days later. This one has been about a couple of weeks maybe, and I'm glad I did, because it gives me a chance to think about things and really try and talk about it, think it through and then talk about it. When I came out of the cinema, it's the same sort of feeling as I have now. I actually really enjoyed the film, more than I thought I was going to. I went in expecting to like it, but I didn't expect to come out and be like, I'd watch more. Because I'd heard that they'd tried to plan a lot of sequels for this, and I was like, I don't know if I'd want to watch more than one. I don't know if they can spread the nostalgia as that far for me. I don't know if I can handle that. And then I watched the whole film, and I was like, okay, I'd watch more of these. It's a brilliant origin story for the Power Rangers. There's a couple of things here and there that I didn't understand, didn't really get. This is a Let's Talk About, so this might spoil some things for you, and if it does, then that's your own fault, because it's not a review, we're talking about the film. I was told off before, I've mentioned this a lot in different reviews and stuff, I was told off before for calling it a review and then it's spoiling things, so now I'm calling them Let's Talk About, so you should expect me to talk about plot points and shit. There was a bit where the Blue Ranger morphed into his suit before anyone else had, because he tried to break up a fight that was going on between the rest of the Rangers, and he morphed into his suit. No one understood how or why, even he didn't understand how or why. And then when they were all sort of coming into their character traits for the role they were given as a Ranger, they had to stand on a morphing pod, stand on a morphing platform. Didn't get that, because it seemed like the Red Ranger, even though he was being a leader, couldn't morph into his suit until he stood on the platform. But the Blue Ranger seemed to be able to do that fine. Just little things like that didn't sit well with me, and I was just questioning why and how and stuff. There probably was a reason for it, but hey ho. I think everyone was brilliant in this film. The actors playing the new Rangers, Rita Repulsa, Elizabeth Banks is Rita Repulsa, that's what I was going to say, and then Zordon and stuff like that. They were all brilliant. It was a really well done film. I'd happily go see another one, which is why I'm calling this an origin story. It came across like an origin story. They didn't get into the suits for a good portion of this film, and I was going, this is clearly origin. This is our starting point for the rest of the franchise. It just felt like that. And then when they did, they showed you them training a little bit, and then when they got in the suits, they were sort of outmatched instantly and got into Zords. And I was like, okay, just what we wanted from our Power Ranger thing, our Power Ranger movie. Not much Power Ranger, more Zord. And then I decided that was perfect for an origin thing. It shows that they're not exactly the strongest they could be. They're not perfect. They're not actually full-fledged Power Rangers right now. They have to get into a Zord to defeat the Rita Repulsa and Goldar, I think was his name. It's been a couple of weeks, as you can probably tell. They had to get in there to defeat her army and everything like that, and it made sense. And to me, that showed that they still needed fully training. So it worked, and then I was like, this better be an origin story now, otherwise this is a pretty... They sort of came across weak to me for them not to be able to fight longer in their suits. They were straight away overpowered by the I can never. I had this conversation with Mike the other day, and I still can't remember the clay, the garbage things, the things that are just literally the monsters that are built from the ground, and I can't remember the fucking name of them. It's driving me insane. But they were straight away overwhelmed by them, and they were like, "Quick, get the Zords," and then straight away we better turn this into the Megazord, but they didn't know how, and luckily the Zords knew how. Yeah, like it just seemed like a bit of a this is origin stuff, and now we're going to figure out how the Zords did that, and how we can do that without getting into that perilous situation, and how to fight properly as a team. So it did feel like an origin story, but as an origin story, it was done really, really well, and I'd happily watch another one. I probably made that clear already. It was good. It was a good film. But if it's a standalone, it wasn't that good. As a standalone, I wouldn't say it was a brilliant film. So fingers crossed they make another one. This was a pretty short one for me, to be fair. I didn't have much to talk about in this. If they do more and more, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see it branch off as well. So like we get a couple of this one, and then the next one would be like space and stuff like that. And obviously at the end, Rita going into space, that would make sense. They sort of go into the. It's awkward. I don't know the timeline of it. So straight away my head goes to my favourite series, which was Ninja Storm, and I know Wild Force was around that time as well. But yeah, go into all of those different genres, those different seasons, with the different characters and stuff like that, and the different skill sets, I suppose, and the different armors and the different Power Rangers and stuff like that. I think that'd be interesting, depending on how far they go with it, if they can make it work. But for now, this was a good film, as long as they make sequels. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed the film. Let me know if you think it was good as a standalone. I don't. I've seen quite a few people say it was a really good film, and judging it as a standalone, to me, it wasn't that great. I wouldn't be buying this DVD to watch it again. I'd happily see a sequel, but I wouldn't buy the DVD to rewatch it, because to me it wasn't that brilliant as a start film. The characters and the dialogue and all the it was funny. It was funny. It made you care about the characters, and it was entertaining. But I wouldn't sit and watch it again currently. So yeah, I hope they make sequels, but if not, I don't know how I feel about this film. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you again in whichever video you decide to view next.